Welcome to The Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is The Clean Slate Podcast.
Welcome back to The Clean Slate Podcast. Wake
not
up.
Ready for that.
That's Daniel. He's sleeping. I'm Carson. We're chugging along through 31 horror films. Some of these are horrible. Some of these are terrifying. And this one is honestly a really good movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about Godzilla Minus One.
Godzilla Minus One. This has nothing to do with Halloween, but it is a monster, so we went with
Godzilla is scary.
And
spooky.
it was time to watch this one because we were trying to
I've
look
been
for a place
begging
for it.
Daniel to watch this.
Yeah, because we were gonna do it in We were gonna do it in Monster March, but we ended up not. And then,
Well, here's the thing. This was my top 5 movies of last year.
That's
It was in
crazy.
my top 5. Yeah, I love this movie. So I've been dying for Daniel to watch it. You're not like the biggest Godzilla fan in the world.
no, that's not true. I am very
true. You
pro Godzilla. I just don't think they ever do a good Godzilla. Like, they always add too much story, and I just kind of want like a Cloverfield Godzilla movie
Okay.
where it's like people
Well,
are
this
just trying
one
to survive.
has a lot of story, but it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, well, most of the time, yeah, Godzilla movies are like, oh my god, we're being attacked. Let's find out all the
my God,
scientific
Zilla.
facts about Godzilla and learn how to defeat him. And I just want
With
Godzilla.
the blimp.
Yeah, exactly. Godzilla taking out cities and torturing people. Even though that's not really what Godzilla is, that's what I want.
Well, here's the thing, though. The original... This is a tangent. We should do a Godzilla like series or
Yeah, we
something
should.
someday. But the original film is more of a horror film, and then the Godzilla films in general are usually some form of allegory.
Yeah.
Like, I think the more recent American ones is about like our environment and how we've harmed it.
Mm-hmm.
The first film's about the original Godzilla is about nuclear warfare and how Japan was nuked.
Yeah.
And then this one kind of falls into it's very similar to the first one, except for it's more about like shame over World War II, which is that's how these movies should be. They should tell a deeper story through the funnest genre possible, giant monsters.
Okay, here is the logline for Godzilla Minus One. Post-war Japan is at the lowest point when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster, baptized in the horrific power of the atomic bomb.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
I'll give them a quick rundown.
Yeah, just tell me what it's about.
Yeah, so you guys are familiar with Godzilla, I would hope, at this point. This is kind of its own standalone continuity. I know some people talk about it being like a prequel to the first film. I don't think it lines up, so I wouldn't think of it that way. But yeah, it takes place in post-war
Look at your camera.
Japan. Sorry, it takes place... Hey guys, sorry, I forgot we have a camera now. It takes place in post-war Japan, and things are not great, admittedly, for the Japanese people.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of exploring everything that's been going on in that world. And through that, there's makeshift family forms of a woman, an abandoned child, and what would you call him, a shamed kamikaze pilot.
Yeah.
And they form this, non-traditional family. But in the backdrop of this, Godzilla is coming back, and it's connected directly to the kamikaze pilot's failure to kill him when he was much smaller.
Yeah.
So this kind of builds, and there's a lot going on there with his failure to kill Godzilla, and it ultimately comes to a head, and he's forced to face down his deepest fear, which is a giant lizard monster.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's true.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, this is more in line with the traditional Toho Godzilla films than any of the other American ones.
All right, cool. So likes and dislikes. Honestly, this is probably, I would say, my favorite Godzilla rendition in recent years. Like,
That's huge.
it has everything that I want. It has sometimes a little bit, it does slow itself down a little bit to where it's like, all right,
It opens really like
Yeah,
and then
the opening
takes a huge dip.
Yeah, the opening is an amazing sequence, and then I think really what this movie does is it captures like the horrific nature of what this would be like in real life. Like if just all of a sudden you're chilling and then this fat, lizard monster comes out of the ocean, you're like, holy crap!
Don't body shame
this giant ass Godzilla. Anyway, so yeah,
this is like one of the first times in recent years like it's hard to root for Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, hard to or yes.
Yeah, like you don't want to be like, yeah, Godzilla, kill.
Yeah.
And this one I'm like, oh, Godzilla, stop.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
We don't want you to
They've
die.
gone through so much.
So yeah, and then this movie just becomes, I think, a really good story on, again, yeah, I feel like this happens in every Godzilla movie. It becomes how to defeat Godzilla, which, fair enough, they're military.
Yeah.
And so, right, you want that to happen. But they go about it in a really interesting way that I think brings the severity to what he is doing and why they need to stop it. And they do that through like the multiple attacks that you see with Godzilla, and
Dude,
and that makes it fair enough because the scenes are so worth it in how they, the Godzilla is giant. So yeah, I think my favorite scene is I think it's like the second or third attack where he's going through the town.
like the train.
Yeah,
when he destroys that train or whatever.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I was just like expecting Spider-Man to come out and stop the other train.
Yeah, stop the train. Go! On that note, this movie is like visually glorious.
Yeah,
like this
so
is a
cool.
very pretty movie to look at. So on this rewatch, I've seen this this is my third time seeing it.
Okay.
I got to watch it in theaters, which was
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
But I decided to watch the black and white version. So Godzilla minus color is what they're calling it. Really clever. But it looks awesome in black and white. So if you've already seen it, or maybe you're just like partial to the like OG black and white Godzilla, it's kind of cool to see it because it feels more like the classic. But then like the parts where it's like not Godzilla just feels like a really well done war drama.
Yeah.
Like, which is cool. And I think for me, like one of the reasons I really enjoyed this is that time period they're exploring is really interesting to me. And I feel like we don't get to see like post-war Japan that much in anything, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, no.
Or just see their perspective on World War II because we watch all these other movies that doesn't show what's going on in Japan usually.
Shows how it affected them.
Yeah, so it works really well. I think the story for the first time ever is actually good.
Yeah.
Like I actually like the characters. I actually got teary-eyed when something may or may not have happened to one character, which is crazy. Especially in a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Like usually I'm crying for Godzilla, not for a human.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool. It's really cool. And then like, yeah, I think because they paid more attention to the human story, because that's the issue with like, what's the Monarch?
Yeah.
We don't care about any of those characters in Monarch
Yeah.
at all. They're just there to move the plot forward. And in this, the Godzilla is there to move the plot forward, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice change.
Yeah, and I think one of the best things about this movie, one, first of all, do you ever see those memes where it's like showing Godzilla's real legs because he's always standing in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
It's like his legs got to be this
insert
long.
that now.
Yeah,
Editor.
But one of the coolest things that I think hasn't been really done well in a lot, just because like technology hasn't been able to keep up, or CGI, is the way that he does his like blowing fire thing. It's like it
looks so the atomic breath.
Yeah, an atomic bomb. And I thought that was the cool. I like wanted so much more of it. Like I would rewatch this movie just for that. And the way that they build it up, the way that like the actual sonic boom from it is also like
it causes its own problems.
Yeah, exactly.
For people.
So it's not just the fire breath, but it is the sonic boom that comes after. Was probably the coolest thing of this movie. And yeah, I was just like
that's the
fangirling over it.
Go ahead.
I was just fangirling over it.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. No, I was gonna say the crazy thing about this movie is compared to like Godzilla versus Kong or any of the more recent films, it's pretty low budget actually.
Yeah.
And it won at the Academy for what, best special effects or something like that. The first Oscar for Mr. Godzilla.
Yeah,
it took him long enough.
Yeah, one Oscar.
He's been snubbed.
Once my computer loads, I'll be able to tell you what the Oscar was specifically.
I think it was for
best
for special
achievement in
effects or
visual
something.
effects. Yeah, you're right.
Visual effects. That's amazing. I mean, I think it deserves it, especially with, I can't remember what the budget is, but it was pretty low budget and it made a crap ton of money.
Yeah, so the budget was $15 million. The opening weekend for it was $11 million. Gross worldwide, or I'm sorry, gross in Canada and US was $56 million. And gross worldwide was $115 million. So this is that's crazy, runaway success for Godzilla.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I hope they see that and we get more of this, because as much as I like the American ones, I'd love Japan to just keep doing, like, how the rights works out.
Yeah.
Is Toho gets to make their movie every couple years. The Americans get to make their movie every other year. So I kind of like that arrangement, to be honest, because we get two different types of Godzilla. And there's actually a really cool interview between the two directors that's kind of interesting. And I believe the Japanese director is like, oh, it's cool because we're doing like two halves of what Godzilla actually is. Like, you get to do the goofy stuff, and I'm doing like the serious stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could find the link and put it in the comments, but yeah, it's pretty great.
Don't really have any dislikes besides some of it was slow, but I mean, other than that, it's almost a perfect movie, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, my only dislike, and this is
go ahead.
I was just saying my only dislike is it's like slightly melodramatic, but that's just kind of what it's gonna be. Like, I've accepted that, but that technically is a dislike.
Yeah.
Scare factor,
I would say 9 out of 10.
Honestly, yeah, probably a 9. But I think I'd like it. Like, if I heard that there was a giant monster destroying other countries, I'd be like, heck yeah, bro. Do it. That's what I want this world to be. I want Godzilla loose. I'd be like a cultist for Mr. Zilla.
All right, guys. Well, that is Godzilla -1. You can watch it on Netflix. Not really a Halloween movie, but it is a monster. So we wanted to, you know. Yeah, we do what we want. So, guys, thank you so much for stopping by again. This is the 31 Nights of Halloween. So we're reviewing a movie every single day of Spooky Month. So make sure you go listen to some of our other episodes that you're interested in, and the ones that are coming up. Stay tuned because we will be releasing those every day. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow us, comment, share it with your friends who are also cinephiles. And we're not stopping. This is the beginning of season 3 for the Clean Slate podcast. So welcome aboard if you are new, and hey, thanks for stopping by again if you've been here for a while. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
That's a clean slate.